Hi readers, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. This is my May book haul. I know, because if you haven't seen the video, let me just let you know that I am making a 3-month commitment to not buying books from May 15th to August 15th. And so because that starts in a day and a half, 2 days from now, I'm ready for a haul. I'm ready to haul what I have purchased in the month of May, and a couple of library books too, to be honest, because I'm going to try to get in the groove of hauling library books temporarily anyway. So yeah, let's talk about the books that I've already acquired for the month of May, which should be the last books that I acquire for the next 3 months, unless something happens and I'm gifted a book, which actually, to be quite honest, my sister has sent 2 cookbooks to me. She sent me a text this morning, but I don't usually haul cookbooks anyway, so I'm not worried about that. And those will come after the book buying ban, but obviously she didn't get the memo. It's okay. She does send me books now and again, but I doubt she will, to be honest. I think this is it. We have, just so you know, a new foster dog. Haven't shown her to you yet. Her name is May. I call her May May, and she is beautiful and sweet and soft, and it's going to be really hard to put her on a transport bus on Thursday morning, but that is what we are meant to do. So we are really enjoying May May a lot. Lisa calls her Gypsy sometimes. We're not sure that she loves either of those names, but she's a delight. Such a good dog. Let's get to books, shall we? The Ministry of Time by Kaliane Bradley, I think that's how you say it, Kaliane Bradley, is my book of the month club selection. I usually share these first because it's the first book I normally get in the month. And I love this cover. I absolutely love this. This is a historical fiction slash speculative fantasy kind of thing. It's billed as an ingeniously imagined, hilarious romp through time, space, and the human heart that announces an exhilarating new voice in contemporary fiction. You know, if you saw my most anticipated reads list for this month, that this was on it, and I can't be happier. A boy meets a girl, the past meets the future, a finger meets a trigger, the beginning meets the end. This is a debut novel. However, in researching Kaliane, she did write a short story years ago for the Willow Herb Review. I think it was called Willow Herb Review, probably. She's in London, and her short fiction also appeared in Some Such Stories and Electric Literature, Catapult, and Extra Teeth. She won the Harper's Bazaar Short Story Prize and the V.S. Pritchett Short Story Prize in 2022. So she's no stranger to writing, but this is her first novel. And I'm super excited about this because it is a mind-bending, time travel bending book about a woman who is a detective, and she is monitoring an expat known as 1847 or Commander Graham Gore, because he died on Sir John Franklin's expedition to the Arctic, and she is living in the future. So somehow he ended up in her time frame, and she is trying to figure this out, and it is being billed a little bit like Outlander. So he has to live with her in order for her to keep track of him, so to speak. And so I'm assuming that something happens and they enter into something more than just the relationship that's described here. And I'm hearing some great buzz about this. And I watched Jenna at Books Love Jenna talk about this, and she said this may be her favorite book that she's read in a really long time. If Jenna and I have similar taste, which I think we do, we're going to both really be happy that we got this book. The next one is called The Tainted Cup, and this is by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is a hardback with no jacket, a lovely hardback, lovely design. But this one got by me. I'm not sure how, but I hadn't heard of this until they started talking about it on the Currently Reading podcast, I think in the Patreon group, but I can't be sure. But it came out February 6th, and I just got it the other day. So this is the first in a series called The Shadow of the Leviathan which is good. And it is a Holmes and Watson style detective duo, but it's a fantasy with a mystery twist, which is what really made me excited about this. You know, I don't read as much fantasy, but I'm trying to read more of that these days. And it's getting a lot of great buzz. In fact, the rating for this on Goodreads is 4.3, and it's on Amazon at 4.6. This one is about an officer who is killed, it appears, and a tree erupts from his body, hence the the leaves along the spine of this book. A woman named Anna Dolabra is assigned to the case, but she's very, very brilliant and she's very good at what she does, but she wears a blindfold all the time so that she can just, I guess, perceive other parts of what she's learning from suspects. I'm not sure. And then she has an assistant named Denoius Cole, I think. He's magically altered, but the way they described it was that he was a bit of a robot kind of, and so he's maybe part human, part machine. It sounds so far-fetched, I know, but also the way they described it seemed like something I would really, really love. And Meredith said she really thinks that the second one needs to come out really soon because she loved it so much. So The Tainted Cup. Oh, also Din, let's just call him Din because they are calling him Din. He has some secrets too. So that'll be also a fun part of that book. I pre-ordered The Demon of Unrest by Erik Larson because first of all, I have all the other Erik Larsons that have been written in this vein. And secondly, my partner really wanted to read this one. We actually had just finished watching Manhunt on Apple TV. If you haven't watched Manhunt, I highly recommend it because we really devoured it pretty quickly. And this one is about Lincoln and about the Civil War and the time where he was running for president in November 1860. And Erik Larson tells the story of the chaotic months leading up to the election, and it just seems like a great read. I always love his covers, and while his books can be really, really dense in terms of information, I just can't stop collecting them. So that one is mine. That one came out in May as well. I also picked up In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. This is an exclusive edition to Barnes & Noble in paperback. I wanted this edition because of this as well. And this is going to be a buddy read for me in June. So I wanted to make sure that I had it. And I'm glad that I got it before my band because that would have been awkward. I'm sure I would have figured it out, but I'm happy that I got this one. And In the Lives of Puppets is set in a forest and a little boy with a wooden heart. So you know where this is going. No strings attached. He has a home built in the branches of trees and a family assembled from spare parts. There are 3 robots, fatherly inventor android Giovanni Lawson, a sadistic nurse machine, a small vacuum desperate for love and attention, and a human named Victor Lawson. That's all I really want to know. I'm all in. I also purchased one Kindle book in this month, and that was because I'm going to be reading it with a book club as a part of my patron membership or Patreon membership with Becca at Becca's Books and Bujo. Becca just started her Patreon and I have joined, and I'm really enjoying it so far, but she's going to do a book club book every month, and the Patreons at that level get to pick which one they want to read, and I chose this one, and it was the one that was chosen. So this is Delila Green Doesn't Care, which is the Bright Falls series, book number 1. This is a romance. It has pretty good ratings for sure on Goodreads. And what I like about this is it's a queer romantic comedy about taking chances and accepting love with all of its complications. So Delila Green goes back to Bright Falls, which is the place that she lived as a young person and said she would never return to, but she goes for a wedding, as I remember, and then she meets someone, her name is Claire, and somehow they I don't know, reconnect or get to know each other or something, but it just sounds good. And so I'm in for that. So that's Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. I don't know that I told you that. I love the cover of that one too. It's really cute, and I'm in the mood for some light stuff after some of the heavy reads that I've been reading lately. And then a friend of mine and the woman who actually supports our foster group projects and arranges transports and does some transporting here and there. Her name is Denise. She's a lovely human. Her dad died recently, and she was unhauling some of his books, and she asked if any of us wanted anything. And I saw this one because I love Martha Raddatz as a news commentator and reporter. And I love that Martha Raddatz puts herself in some pretty dangerous situations. So she's got to be really, really brave. And I've been watching her for a long time. So The Long Road Home is the story of war and family, and it is set with Martha Raddatz as your guide. This book is Martha Raddatz's account of the ambush and the courageous effort to save Shane Aguero's platoon, and offers perhaps the most riveting picture of hand-to-hand battle to come out of the war in Iraq. Yet it is the intimate portrait of a close-knit community of families back home that this distinguishes The Long Road Home from other works of war reporting. It captures the terror and bravery and fortitude, not just of the soldiers who were wounded and killed, but also of the surviving families whose lives were changed forever. So, does it sound really hard and dark? Yes, but I have some desire to read it. The books I checked out from the library this month were The Reformator by Tananarive, which is a book I'm currently reading for the BookTube Prize. And then this one is a result of watching a book Olive on BookTube talk about her journey to a greater sense of health and well-being, and her strength and muscles and weight loss and all of that. And she shared on TikTok and on BookTube the books that she read during this time and really learned a lot from and valued. And so one of them was sort of standing there looking at me and saying, hey, somebody just talked about this. I've looked at this before. I've looked at Michael Pollan's books before. Or maybe I did read In Defense of Food, but I've watched some of his documentaries as well and some interviews with him. So I picked up The Omnivores Dilemma. Now this is due back tomorrow. So I'm going to hope that I can renew both of these today. I do have this on audiobook though. I bought it last year when it came out, so I'm not concerned if I can't renew that, but I'm pretty certain I can renew this one for sure, because probably not a lot of people are checking this out. But this is about being buffered by one food fad after another, and that America essentially has a bit of a national eating disorder. And so it challenges the way we think about the politics, perils, and pleasures of eating. And I'm sure this is going to really make me have to think about what I'm eating. It comes at a good time because my partner has given up meat. And I have often contemplated doing that myself, and for a long time tried to eat in a more vegan way, but it was hard because at that time she wasn't. We're experiencing a bit of a similar situation now because she isn't eating meat and I still am. However, I'm not overly committed to that, but I am going to take a look at some things that will help me make that decision about whether I want to officially give up meat and try a new way of eating and living. So there's those two from the library. So again, these are my library books. And these are the books I purchased this month, one of which was given to me by my friend, as I said, and I'm very happy with that haul. And I hope that you enjoyed this haul today. And again, don't worry, there will be hauls, there will be other content, everything will be fine. And I noticed some of you are considering this as well. I have some comments to get to tonight because I saw there were quite a few comments on that video. So we will see how this goes. Together, we will pave a new pathway for those of us who want to use our libraries more and just read our backlist. That's going to be the most fun and exciting part of this. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here in my community, for commenting as you do. As always, happy reading. Bye.